So my stress level, I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, my stress level is probably like an 8.5, maybe 9. It's pretty up there. At the beginning of this class, a little backstory about me. I'm a manager at Planet Fitness. I work 40 hours a week. I work mostly nights, so I get home about 10 o'clock at night. I just recently bought a house the end of last year. So for me, the bills are piling up sometimes. I get home after a long day of work and it's been a hard day of work. And, you're second guessing everything sometimes. And, you get home and you got to open the textbook or open up a book and jump on Canvas and start plugging away at more work. It's hard. It's definitely challenging. The one thing I like to do is watch a lot of YouTube videos. And, I feel like as soon as I get home, the one thing I want to do is turn on some YouTube videos and just kind of escape for a while, especially after a long day of work. And these last 2 days have been brutal on me. You're thinking about everything. Like, what am I doing? What career path am I supposed to be on? How do I change it? And that's kind of why I'm doing these classes is to try to change careers and get into something else and have a better future for myself. The other thing that's really hard on me too is, for my career choice that I'm doing release right now, this is kind of one and done for me because it's two classes of English that I've taken. This will be my second time, and if I don't get a good enough grade in this class right here, basically that's it for the career. So the stakes are pretty high, pretty up there, and something that has been just kind of popping in my brain lately in the last couple weeks. I've seen my grades go up and getting more points and a better result because I'm just putting more effort into it. And I'm realizing that maybe the scale that I thought I was on, maybe I thought I was on the high effort scale, but it turns out maybe I wasn't. Maybe I thought I could kind of outsmart it, or that I was talented enough or good enough with words that I could get through it without having to put, a max amount of effort into it. But I'm realizing that that's not the case. And as soon as I realized that and really started pouring into, kind of every inch of the modules and the course pack and reading and the strategies and annotating, that's when I started to see my grades and slowly start improving, which they have over the last 2 or 3 weeks. My essay one wasn't that great. I thought it was good. I thought I put a lot of work into it. Didn't get a very great grade. Didn't love it. Definitely needed more of that for what my grade has to be overall. So I realized pretty fast as soon as I got that back, I had to definitely step my game up. And I actually have come to appreciate the challenge about this class, though. It's definitely challenging. I think the grading it can be tough. But I think that's just another reason for you to put a good amount of work into it. I think you can get a great grade in this class if you just do all the things. You read the course pack, you go through the outlines, you annotate, you do all the effective pre-reading strategies, pre-essay writing strategies. I think as long as you do it, you can get a really good grade. Um, and so that article that we read in week one has really popped in my brain a lot of the whole idea of putting effort into something versus, saying that you're talented or, them saying to their kids that you're talented or you're smart or you're all these different things and that's why you do it. And then they don't do very well versus the ones that were kind of, told, hey, you'll do well with what you put work into. And great job. You put a lot of work into that. And so that idea, I'm starting to realize like a light bulb, that's probably why we had that in that first week, because it really is laying the foundation for the tough stuff that we're getting into now of like, hey, don't be upset if you don't get a good grade if you didn't put a good amount of work into it. And if you did, you'll get a good result for the most part. And the fact that Professor Steffi's been pretty much there every step of the way when I've, sent her an email or things of that nature, I've actually been really thankful for. My other class is literally you're just out there on a line by yourself, read the text and take a test. There's literally nothing else to it. I'm kind of surprised. So they couldn't be polar opposites in terms of how the professors approach the class. And although this one is so laid out and detailed and thorough and, page numbers to reference all these different sections and all these different things, you come to appreciate that a little bit in how thorough the professor was in putting it together. And you realize they want you to learn something out of this class. They don't want you to just, basically phone it in and think you're going to get a grade. You got to put work into it. And so, for me, I've come to that realization, and I'm going to continue to do so. For me personally, in more ways than just my career choice, the stakes are pretty high right now. They're really, really high. So, a little bit out of because I have to, and because I feel a lot of that pressure. I'm putting a good hard amount of work into this, and I'm going to continue to do so. And it's actually been a reaffirming thing, even though it's a little bit out of desperation. It's been a reaffirming thing that hard work equals success. And it's obvious. I mean, it's yeah, okay. But when you actually see it in practice because you have to, and you see the result come from it, you go, wait a second. Maybe if I just really work hard at everything that I do, if I want it bad enough, I'll do well at it. And it's true. You can't throw your hands up just because you're not the best writer, just because you're maybe not as good with words. And in fact, you still have to work hard on it, even if those things are true. Especially in this class. So it's a challenge in a way that I haven't really seen in the maybe an English class before, but it's something that I think for this season of my life I've actually come to welcome a little bit. I think it's something I need to learn, especially going into way harder territory than where I'm at now. I've got to learn the skills and the will to work hard. And, even after a long day, you get home, you got to open up the textbook. You got to dig into it. You got to dive into it. You got to work at it. And, it's not forever. It's a season of time for a better future. And that's just the perspective I'm trying to have on it as much as I can. So, without making this whole thing too long, because I'm a talker, that's basically kind of where my stress level's at on it, and kind of where my perspective's at on how I'm dealing with it moving forward. So, thank you.